The next step would be to move to larger animal models, non-human primates, ultimately before moving into first in man human studies.
If all goes well, within a few years, healthcare providers could find this non-pharmaceutical solution in their pain management toolkit. I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
All right, Usher, thank you for that report. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Michelle London. Denver 7 News at 5 starts right now.
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
This is very warm for Denver.
It is very hot for me.
We're on track for record-breaking heat on the Front Range this weekend.
Drink a lot of water, a lot of sunscreen on your face.
There won't be many of these thunderstorms around this weekend. The heat advisory for record temperatures on Saturday.
With triple digits, everybody will be searching for the closest neighborhood pool.
I almost come here every day. The pool is open.
But cooling off might be a struggle if cities don't have the staff to keep pools open.
I feel like those closures just causes parks like this to be overcrowded.
Plus, President Biden signs an executive order to protect reproductive rights and is encouraging Congress to do more.
For God's sake, there's an election in November. Vote, 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 vote.
And one Colorado student trying to right a wrong and make sure a veteran is honored for his sacrifice.
He explained, I could have said something, I could have given this man a commendation, but I didn't.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Denver 7 News at 5 this evening. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Jessica Porter. So if you've stepped outside even once today, you know it is sizzling out there.
Sizzling, and this weekend it's going to be even hotter. The National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory for every place you see in orange. This is from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be over 100 degrees for the entire Denver metro and the plains, which is why we have team coverage on this extreme heat.
So before we get to Patrick Perez, let's get to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson. Mike, I think we might want some of those rain clouds back.
They will be few and far between this weekend, but there are a few out there right now. Temperatures are indeed sizzling. 93 in Denver, 97 at Ray. And we have a couple of thunderstorms showing up, but not enough to really cool things off. The heat advisories we showed you, northeast Colorado for tomorrow. But here's a thunderstorm that has popped up in Clear Creek County. That's producing some gusty winds, a little bit of rain. Another cell just to the east of Aurora, moving out to the east. And they're kind of developing right now over the metro area. None of these are terribly strong, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll track this one. The Central City storm is going to continue to push toward Arvada if it holds together and arrive there probably in about an hour. Out to the east, scattered thunderstorm activity as well. This is short-lived stuff. It's only going to last the evening hours. Interesting looking, though. This is a picture from our camera at Last Chance, southern Washington County, and this is the view in time-lapse of some of those cells building off to the west of Denver in the past hour. This is about all we're going to see as far as shade tonight. There'll be less of it tomorrow. So isolated evening thunderstorms, and then the heat really cranks up. Highs 98 to 103 this weekend at lower elevations. Dry through Sunday. Finally next week, starting Monday, cooler with some storms coming in. Your full 7-day forecast comes in about 20 minutes.
Patrick Perez roasting on the roof of the Denver 7 studios. Patrick, you're taking one for the team tonight. We sent you out to check out some city pools today. I'm guessing that sounds really, really nice about now.
Oh, it really does. But Shannon, I have to be honest, it's actually not that bad up here. I've been here before when it's been a lot hotter, but thanks to some of this cloud cover, it is nice and comfortable. But yeah, it's gonna be really hot this weekend, and I cannot think of a better way to stay cool than to take a swim in a pool. But in Aurora, thanks to lifeguard shortages, the options there are limited. As we brace for temperatures at or near triple digits this weekend, swimmers at Aurora's Del Mar pool have the right idea.
I always come here. It's fun.
But getting access to the pool, especially on free admission Friday, was no easy feat.
If we don't get here within an hour or 45 minutes before they're open, we probably won't be able to get in.
When we stopped by Friday afternoon, a crowd of kids and parents was waiting outside as the pool had reached capacity. These lines are likely expected to last into the weekend, as it's the only public outdoor pool in Aurora open both Saturday and Sunday.
All of those pools are still experiencing some adjusted hours, and some of them have adjusted capacity levels as well.
Aaron Pulling with Aurora Parks Recreation and Open Space says they're still 50 short of their goal of 300 lifeguards. That means access to pools this hot weekend will be limited. In addition to Del Mar, Meadow Hills will be open only on Saturday from 10 to 6. Park Lane will be open only on Sunday during the same hours. Aqua Vista, Pheasant Run, and Village Green are all closed because of a lack of lifeguards.
If we were to be fully staffed, which we're hoping to in the next couple of weeks or so, then all of those pools, hypothetically, so again, hopefully, right, would be open to full capacity and full hours.
Until then, for families eager to get on the water, some planning ahead is required.
Saturday is open at 10. I come here from 9.
Okay, so let's say you live in Denver. Well, I checked, and all of the outdoor pools are open this weekend. That's on the city's schedule online. The city, though, did have to close 6 indoor pools to make that happen because, guess what, Denver also has a lifeguard shortage. And if swimming is not your thing, Denver's rec centers will be open this weekend to help you stay cool. Jessica?
I'm guessing Denver pools will be just as busy. Thank you, Patrick. And remember, you can get the most up-to-date weather alerts and forecast in your neighborhood by visiting thedenverchannel.com. You can also get the very latest on the free Denver 7 Plus app. It's available to download now on your streaming device. Elon Musk says he's no longer buying Twitter.
Today, the richest person in the world sent a letter to Twitter saying he is terminating his $44 billion deal, but Twitter tonight fighting back. In a letter from his lawyer, Musk says Twitter has, quote, not complied with its contractual obligations. Musk announced his intentions to buy the company in May, which led to a number of top executives there and employees leaving before his anticipated takeover.
Twitter now has responded, saying it will sue Elon Musk to complete the merger. Twitter says it is, quote, confident their suit will prevail.
Well, shock around the world tonight after former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated overnight. It happened in broad daylight in western Japan, where he was campaigning for another lawmaker ahead of Sunday's parliamentary elections. A 41-year-old gunman has been arrested, has confessed to the crime. And 67-year-old Abe was Japan's longest-serving prime minister. In going deeper tonight, this is the first assassination of a major world leader in some 20 years. Also, gun violence is extraordinarily rare in Japan. The country has very restrictive firearm laws and rarely sees more than 10 gun deaths per year. Police say the suspect used a homemade weapon.
President Biden signed an executive order this afternoon to protect reproductive rights for women in states where abortions are not accessible. Access to emergency medical care, including abortion, is included in his executive order. The order also protects medical providers and people who work at abortion clinics. It also ensures access to contraception. The president is also putting more pressure on lawmakers.
Fastest way to restore Roe is to pass a national law codifying Roe.
You can't solve by executive action what the Supreme Court has done. The best and fastest way to fix that is by codifying Roe, restoring Roe by legislation.
Now, earlier this week, Governor Polis took action to protect reproductive rights for people in Colorado and in other states. His executive order protects Colorado workers from facing any disciplinary action for providing reproductive health care. Governor Polis is also making it clear this state will not cooperate with any criminal or civil cases in other states for people seeking abortions here in Colorado.
Veterans often carry with them stories and trauma they never speak of.
Well, Denver 7's Colette Bordelon shares the story of a local veteran who wishes a soldier he served with gets the honor he deserves.
I looked out the window and watched the old man teeter up to my front door.
These are words from an essay Noah Hicks wrote not too long ago.
It was a Veterans Day project.
About a story he first heard in 5th grade.
Annoyed with another homework assignment, I expected him to answer my questions quickly and be done.
The veteran he picked was Maury Serrata.
Having him answer these questions, it felt like really forced at first.
Interviewing someone can feel a bit strange sometimes, until they open up.
Suddenly I wasn't bored. The thought of listening to first-hand war stories was exciting.
But Hicks had no idea what a man he'd known most of his life.
Yeah, we live right there.
What his neighbor wanted to share about his Bronze Star medal.
It was the biggest regret of his life that he got this Bronze Star.
Serrata served in the Korean War and told Hicks he was in charge of moving ammo across a river during a flash flood.
And I needed one person to stand in the middle to pass ammo across. When he asked for a volunteer, everyone looked at each other, but no one stepped forward until the only African-American soldier in the regiment valiantly stepped forward. So he was basically just risking his life standing in the middle of the river.
Hicks says the veteran teared up when telling his story.
I never gave the man any recognition because he was African-American, he explained. I could have said something, I could have given this man a commendation, but I didn't.
A story his own son,
The Bronze Star presentation,
had never heard.
he might not have told us or told anyone ever. It's a story of prejudice that needs to be told and looked back upon, that the way things were, not the way they should be.
Bob's dad, who passed away 8 months ago, chose to tell a child who's now on his own mission.
Getting this story out there could hopefully help us find the man who was not commended for his actions in the river.
Because this essay was never about a grade. It was about trying to right a wrong.
To him, his Bronze Star, theoretically his most prestigious award, was a symbol of both pride in having carried out an important mission, yet shame knowing he didn't honor the man who was imperative to the mission's success.
And the words on the last page of the paper are far from where this story ends. Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
And Hicks's goal is to try to find the man who was not recognized for his heroic actions. He's hoping by some stroke of luck, this story reaches any relatives or friends who may know who he was. You can read more of this story on thedenverchannel.com.
A situation that you can't even fathom right now could still happen.
It can be a tricky but important conversation to have before you tie the knot.
You might as well be open and honest from the start.
The big decision lawyers say you need to address before walking down the aisle
is within the discretion of the court to determine how your property is to be divided.
Plus why a section of the welcome sign outside DIA has gone dark.
And the one day next week that you'll want to avoid I-70 heading out to the mountains.